So when we talk about BI, what exactly is BI? In terms of the definition, so BI is an umbrella term that refers to the variety of software applications which are used to analyze the organization's raw data. The raw data can be in the form of the TXT files, Excel files, it may come from Azure, AWS, or the database within your own organization. uh, so it can be it can come from anywhere. So and you have got the software application here. So you got the software application, and the software application interacts with the data which is available from these very data sources. And what you do is you connect to this and you make use of it for analyzing. So basically maybe what is the total sales, what is the in this period, and so on. So this is what you do. This is called business intelligence. And business intelligence, it's not a new term. It has been there since, I think, very long back. Mercedes was the first one which invented BI, and it has been used across variety of applications. So BI, it's made up of several related activities, and these activities include the ETL operations. ETL stands for extraction, transformation, and loading. So when we talk about the extraction, so you are getting the data from the source files, and thereafter you're transforming it. So maybe what you're doing is you got the first name and the last name, you are making the concatenation of it to move it to the destination part, that is the loading part. So you get the first name and last name, and here in the destination table maybe the name concatenated value is to be saved, or maybe the total sales is to be saved, etc. So you apply the transformations. So what you do is you do the ETL operations. Now the data has been loaded. After this, what you'll do is you'll do the querying part, the analytical processing and the querying part. You'll do that. Maybe you'll say that in this region for this particular via this particular salesperson, what has been the total sales, and you can do the query part, and then finally you'll create the reports out of this which can be shared to the management or the intended recipients. So this is what you do with BI. Now the question comes, what was the need for Power BI? We'll come to that in a moment. That is, we already have the BI and we have the various tools which are already doing this. We have got Cognos, we have got SQL Server integration, analysis, and the reporting services which are already doing the work. What is this Power BI and what's the need for it? So we'll come to that in a moment. Before that, let's have a look at the various rules which are there in the data analysis. The very first one is a business analyst. What does a business analyst do is, so it is closer to the business itself and is a specialist in interpreting the data that comes from the visualization. So he can see the various charts and he can make the interpretations from this particular data which is available. So he can see that from this region what is the total sales that is coming. So he is the one who does this particular part. So because these are the, when we talk about the data analysis, there are 5 roles that normally exist: business analyst, second is the data analyst, third is the data engineer, fourth one is data scientist, and the fifth one is data administrator. Because many times we see that across the projects they say that we have an opportunity for the business analyst, we have an opportunity for the data analyst, for the data engineer, but what do they actually do? Means the terms seem to be nearly same, but there's a specific role each and every person does, or the work which is done by each and every role. So data analyst is the one, it is responsible for profiling. So it is the main one, it is the one which will be doing the cleaning part. So he gets the data, he does the cleansing part, he does the transformation part and designing part, and finally loads it to the destination part. So enabling the and implementing the advanced analytic capabilities. So this is the one. He's the one which will be doing this particular part, ETL part. So it will be done by this particular data analyst. Then the third one is data engineer. So use of on-premise and data services tool to take. So basically you want to connect to the data which is there in the organization or outside the organization, and he is the one who is responsible for it, providing the access to these particular services or the data sources to take and sending out and transform data from multiple sources. So he is the one which will be doing this. And the fourth one is data scientist. So he is the one who does the advanced analytics. So to extract the values from the data. So the work from can vary from descriptive analysis to predictive analysis. So basically, if you go to Amazon, what happens is Amazon.com or Amazon.in, you choose some of the things. When you move to the checkout page, at that time you see that maybe this is something that you may add to your cart, and before you finally check out. How does it come to know? So what it has done is, so these are the work which is done by data analysts. So what they do is based on the data, so they try to make the predictions. These are the ones items which the person might be interested in. Same is true for Netflix as well. So you're watching any movie, you see some of the other things like the related movies, because there are thousands of movies or the lakhs of movies out there, but which are the movies the person might be interested in. So this is the work that is done by data scientists. So which we call it as the machine learning as well. And the fifth one is the database administrator, which we all know is for managing the databases or the data sources. Any questions, friends?
No, right.
Okay, let me move ahead. Okay, then we talk about the online analytical processing. So what it actually means is, so you want to find out the slice of the data. Maybe you are interested in this particular slice that you have. So for this Asia region, for these products in the Q1 period, what is the total sales? So basically for the TV products. So based on it, you want to find out. Now the thing is, when we talk about this, you can do the means normally our solution also. Let's say the SQL server also gives us the results. Maybe based on the where clauses, it gives us the results. But herein, the data is organized in the tabular format, which is a bit of more time consuming, and whereas the requirement is it should take as less time as possible. So herein the data is organized in a way so that it takes as less time as possible. So this is how it differs from online transaction processing. Okay. We already have the tools like integration analysis and the reporting services. Then what was the need for Power BI? The need for Power BI is, so the very first thing is it is nothing but it's a business analytics service. So basically similar to the Facebook or any other tool, any other one, or Office 365, you can sign up for this service. So when you sign up for this service, you get the account for it, and you can do the some of the operations on this particular in using this service based on the privileges that get allocated to you. So and it provides the interactive visualizations. Now let me take you to the Excel, and herein I'll write down some of the things. Normally what happens is, um, We can get the data from variety of sources, and the data is made available to you, and from this you can create the reports. Maybe every tool provides you this, maybe SQL Server integration services, Cognos, or any other tool, it provides you that feature. So you get the data, and you do the ETL operations on top of it, and finally you are able to produce the reports out of it. So this is the thing which is done by every tool that you have. So you can generate the reports. Okay, so this is what we can do it as well. So you can easily generate the report. Then what was the need for Power BI is because usually I went to one of the companies wherein I gave the training. So herein maybe the data or the report is to be created as of now. Let's say we have got the month of November. We are in the month of September. Let's say the report is to be created for the month of uh, August 21. So this is the month for which the report is to be created. So what they did is they have set out the date for the data to be sent, cutoff date for data to be sent from various locations as 7th of September 21. And what usually happens is the data is to come from Australia, from US, UK, and various regions, and one or the other person is always busy with something or is on leave, and they get the data from received on, let's say they receive all the data from on 14th of September. And when they find out after this, after receiving the data, they do all the operations, right, run all the macros and everything. They find out the discrepancy or some problems with the data on, and they find out that there is some problem on this particular date. Maybe they find out after 5 days, that is the 19th of September 21, they send out the information that the data is not okay, and then they finally receive the data on maybe after a few days, 23rd of September 21. And let's say this time the data and everything was okay, and they create the report. It may usually and it usually used to take many iterations, that is usually it doesn't get completed in 4 days, it takes maybe a week or so usually. And let's say they are able to generate the reports by 27th of September 21, and the management meeting happens on, let's say it happens on after 4 days, so let's say on 1st of October 21. And then they find out on 1st of October that maybe they were required to implement some of the things via which the sales could increase, or some of the things were not going in the way they were supposed to be done. But now if you see out here, what is being done is nothing but the post-mortem. So herein what you're doing is post-mortem. So the action that was required to be, I'm not sure whether the spelling is okay or not, but let it be said. But what we are doing is we are doing the post-mortem. So the action that was required to be taken maybe in the month of August itself, we are saying that we are doing that, maybe this was the thing that should have been done and we could have got the better results. So this is the gap which is filled by Power BI. And how it is done is, so it provides the third point, it provides the cloud-based BI services known as desktop interface. So basically what it does is, so herein it can connect to the real-time data So basically at any time it can connect to the real time, and the management or the intended user can see the data at real time without having to depend on IT or data admin guys. So maybe you create a report and I want to see that. And even what they can do is they can create the reports by themselves. This is what they can do. So here in it also, what it also does is it provides a cloud-based service with the desktop-based interface. So basically, so this is the tool that is freely available via which you can create the models and the reports. And apart from this, it offers the data warehouse capabilities. So when you import the data, so the data becomes a part of Power BI service. So think of it as a Facebook only. What you're doing is you are uploading the data out there, so it becomes a part of your account only. And here also, here in whatsoever data gets loaded, so it will become a part of your service or part of your account, and it will get organized in a way so that the query time is as less as possible, so which is done by because of the warehouse capabilities. So data preparation, discovery, and interactive dashboards. So it each and everything takes very as less time as possible. Any questions, friends? Okay, let me move ahead to the next slide. So herein how it happens is, so so herein you got the Power BI desktop out here. So this is the tool via which you create the reports and you publish to Power BI service out here. So via this, what you can do is you can connect to the files which are there in the organization, the database which is there in your organization. You can connect to it and you can publish it, and the data set gets published here. What exactly is a data set? Data set is nothing but a collection of data that you import or connect to. On top of it, you create the reports which are also published here as well. And this one, they can connect to the online services as well. Maybe the OneDrive, Salesforce, Azure, AWS also it can connect to. And herein it connects to this one Power BI desktop by making use of the gateway, which is personal gateway or the standard gateway. So gateway is nothing but you can say that this is a nothing but a layer the transportation layer in which the data moves, the secure transformation channel, secured channel in which your data moves. And these reports and dashboards can thereafter be seen by end users on iPad or Windows applications, Windows based systems, or any other tool. Any questions, friends? Okay, let me move ahead. So this is when you're working in a team, what you'll do is you'll create an app workspace. In the app workspace, you'll add the individual users who will get the rights to publish them in this particular workspace. So app workspace you can think
So,
of as a container. So in this container, for example, in your team, let's say there are 4 persons working on the same solution. So you can add those users. Let's say one of the user has got only read only rights. He's just interested in seeing that. So you'll provide him the read only rights. Any questions?
yeah, hi Manish. In the previous slide, I have a one question. Can you please go back to the previous slide?
Yes.
So I just want to know the role about the Power BI Analytics Service Connector over here. Can you please just little bit more describe about this diagram?
So this one is if you have got SQL Server analysis services. Okay, you've got 3 kind of solutions. One is the integration analysis and the reporting services. So if you want to connect to it, you've got various connectors here. So one is the Excel connectors or maybe folder connector or any other connector. So using the connector, it connects to the source. So herein you got a Power BI analysis services connector. So via which it will connect to this particular source. So similarly here in you got the on-premise databases connector. So it can be SQL connector, Oracle connector, or any other connector. Herein it will be connecting using Excel connector and so on, using the SharePoint connector or a Azure connector here. So it will connect to that. Does this answer your question?
Okay.
Okay. And you'll see the more practical example of it in a moment. So when we'll go to the lab.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Okay. So in terms of the points, so it's nothing but a cloud-based service, and it allows you to use the on-premise service as well. Uh, Now, when we talk about the on-premise services, what exactly it means is now in the organization, in some of the organization, like in your organization, it does not allow your data to be moved outside the boundary of your organization. So your data, your model, and everything must stay within the boundary of the organization. So what Microsoft has given is, so you can buy everything similar to you install on maybe any application on your solution and on your system. Similarly, you can buy this service, and this service has been installed in your organization. So similar to the you publish it to the Power BI service, herein you are publishing it to on-premise server or on-premise service. So, so these are the two options that are available, and you can connect to cloud data like Azure, AWS, and you can connect to on-premise data like Excel files, C text files, or even the databases which are a part of your which are there in your organization. And what you do is you create the data models. What exactly is a data model? So you got the various entities, the entities connected by the relationships. This is what we call as data model. Okay, and on top of it you create the reports and dashboards, and it allows you to have the natural language queries and quick insights. So basically you can say that what is the total sales by the region, by the year, and so on. Customer can write in the query and he can see the visualizations, and he can even add them to the dashboards without having to depend on the developer or anything. He can do it himself. Okay, and then you can have you have got the mobile apps as well. So using that, the end users can also visualize the reports and dashboards. Any questions, friends? Okay. So talking about the data analysis and visualizations, normally you find that you'll have the charts or the tabular visualizations, like the table or the matrix visualizations or the map visualizations are also extensively used. And you got the slicers as well. This is what we call as slicers. In terms of the slicers, you get the various options. You can make a selection, and accordingly the data in the report gets filtered or highlighted based on the selections that you are making. So this is the dashboard. So basically what you can do is, now you've got 4 pages, let's say here. One is data validation, and this one and this one. Now instead of having the 3 pages, what you can do is you can take maybe this visualization from here and some other visualization from the demographics page and some other thing from the validation, and maybe some other visualizations from some other report, and you can pin that to one of the pages. That particular page is called nothing but the dashboard. So with that basically, so you those he can see everything in one page only. So dashboard, so similar to basically you got the project dashboard, it is similar to that. So wherein he can see everything in one page, and you can choose what is to be shown in that particular page, and you can implement the security as well. So you can say that maybe which are the users and for which region or anything the user will have the access to the data. Any questions, friends? Okay, let me move ahead.
So, Munish, can so later on can we see the example based on the security, like how
Yes,
we can create a filter?
yes, we'll have the example for this today itself.
Okay. Thank
Manish, sorry to interrupt. So I just have a quick question. Okay. So what is the difference between the row level security that which we are having, and also there might be some access that which can we also do it in the database level, right? So what is the difference between those two?
Okay, so let me answer your question. Give me a moment. So now there are two things. One is the row level security. So let's say you got the data. Maybe let me open one of the slides.
Now, if you are covering it later, it's fine. We will
So
look at it.
basically, herein, what happens is when we talk about the row level security, you assign him the role. Maybe you'll say that region is equal to US. So what will happen is a filter will get applied. Maybe it is similar to the SQL query. Let's say select star from employee. So you get all the data and you want that that person should be able to see the data only for the region is equal to US. Then the filter will get applied like country where the country is equal to US. So what will happen is so the data will get filtered and he'll have the access only to the he'll see the data only for the region U equal to US or country is equal to US. When we talk about the authentication and authorization on the database level, the end user is not going there. So the data is already there. Herein, what the concept that you have is only for the row level security. So we do not have that particular concept of the that means the database level security because there are thousands of users and you cannot create the user for each and every one in the database. Herein what you have is only the row level security.
But even for that, we have to set up a user level settings, right? I mean, like even if it is like same 1,000 employees who is going to look into the data,
Okay.
let's say that it varies based on each person, right? So with, as you said earlier, like there might be from different region people that who
Yes.
might upload the data and they want
Yes.
to say their own data means that how it could be helpful.
Okay, let me read out this one. The rule can be created in Power BI to specify which data can be accessed by the user having this role. So let's say you want to create a role that is maybe US users. So you see that where you'll create a role where is equal to region, which is a field in the database which is being extracted as US. Now what you'll do is that particular role you'll assign to the user or the group of users. So what will happen is when they'll see that particular dashboard or the report, the filter will get applied that the region is equal to US will get applied. Does this answer your question?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. So anyhow, we will also be looking into this, right? I
Yes, yes,
mean,
definitely.
okay. Okay. Thank you. I have a lot of confusions in that. Thank you so much.
No worries. We'll see that. Huh?
Thank you.
So what you are essentially doing is you are getting the data, you are creating the models, and you are creating the reports using that. So this is what you are doing out here. Okay. And here in there's a link which I've given in the presentation. You can download the report server, and within your own organization, if you want to have your own server, you can download it and install it as well. So which is called as Power BI Desktop optimized for Power BI Report Server. So you use it. Now there are two versions. One is the Power BI Desktop version, and the second one is Power BI Desktop optimized for Report Server. So with this Power BI Desktop optimized for Report Server, you'll be publishing the report to the server which is there in your organization only. So there is small difference between the Power BI desktop which publishes to the service Power BI service which is there in the cloud versus the one which publishes within your own organization. So the location is different, and herein basically they release it usually once a month, and herein they publish it usually once every 4 months, and nowadays basically they are publishing twice a year. So maybe in the May and October they publish it twice, and there's some minor differences apart from this. Okay, and let's have a quick. Any questions, friends? First, we move ahead. Let's have a quick round of knowledge check. So, who is a data analyst? So, a data analyst is a specialist in interpreting the data that comes from the visualizations. So, second one is responsible for profiling, cleaning, and transforming data. Third is responsible for on-premise cloud data service and tools to take sending out transformation sources, that is the managing the data sources. And fourth one is perform the advanced analytics. Which is the correct answer, friends?
The very first one.
Second one.
Second one is the one. So the first one is of the business analyst who is interpreting the data. Second one is the data analyst. Third one is data engineer, and the fourth one is basically the machine learning specialist that we have. Okay, then the next one is which of the following is true? The OLAP database is designed for reading and analyzing the large data sets, maybe terabytes of data. It is designed for having the high transactions per second. So its third one is the data with OLAP is structured in a way so that wherein it is fast to retrieve data for multi-dimensional factors. And Power BI service uses the OLAP database. There are multiple answers, which are multiple options which are correct. So is the first
Third
one?
and fourth. Third and fourth.
Third and fourth. Why not the first one?
Actually, it is not only for reading the data. We can get the data we can view the data in multidimensional way, and it is useful for analyzing.
Yes, true. But what I ask is why not the first one? It is reading and analyzing the data. Because here in what you do is you are getting the data, and your end means what you exactly want is, so in a data warehouse, what is the main criteria? The main criteria is basically because it has got a terabytes of data, maybe large amount of data. So when somebody queries the data, it should take as less time as possible. So these are the three. Third and fourth you rightly said, and the second one is definitely the false one. So which is basically not for the transaction purposes, but the first one is also correct. It is designed for reading and analyzing large data sets. Okay, great. So the next one is which of the following is true? So it is the Power BI service. It's a service provided by Microsoft. It provides a report with interactive visualizations with self-service capabilities. It has two options, the cloud-based and the Power BI report servers. And it allows the only visualization from the single page, single report to be pinned to a dashboard. Again, the multiple options are correct. Which are the
First
ones?
three.
First
First
three.
three.
First three,
Yes,
yes.
yes, very much right. Great. So a data set is a collection of data that you import or connect to. Is it true or false?
True.
True.
True. Yes. So its data set is nothing but a collection of the data that you import or connect.